what dying on every planet would be like. Mercury, the planet that looks calm and gray from far away. But up close, it's basically a slow-roasting death oven. You step out of your spaceship, take one deep heroic breath, and immediately die, because there's no air. Your lungs don't collapse dramatically, they just stop working, like a Wi-Fi connection in space. The pressure is so low that the moisture in your mouth boils off instantly. Congratulations, you're now a walking humidifier. For about 2 seconds. Then the sunlight hits. 4 times stronger than on Earth. Straight ultraviolet rage from the sun. The surface temperature shoots past 430 degrees Celsius, hot enough to melt lead, or at least your shoes. You wouldn't burn the way you do in a fire. Instead, you just slowly roast until your skin crisps and peels like solar-powered bacon. There's no air to carry heat, so you're being cooked directly by radiation. Imagine a microwave, except you are the popcorn. But maybe you land on the night side.
Great idea.
Except there it's minus 180 degrees Celsius. You'll freeze faster than your ex's replies. The moment you stop moving, your body turns to a meat popsicle. The funny part? On Mercury, the day side could fry an egg, while the night side could freeze it. At the same time. If you somehow stood halfway between, one half of you would boil and the other half would shatter. Half barbecue, half ice sculpture. Very artsy. No wind, no sound, no atmosphere, just silence and sunlight. Eventually, you'd become a mummified statue, perfectly preserved forever. Technically, you wouldn't rot. So hey, at least you'd age better than most people on Earth. You've just died on Mercury. Congrats, you're officially solar system barbecue. But don't worry, there's no time to rest in peace. The sun's next-door neighbor has prepared a spa package just for you, all-inclusive with acid rain and surface pressure guaranteed to crush your soul. Welcome to Venus. From orbit, it looks calm, golden, even romantic, which is adorable because it's actually hell with better lighting. The sky isn't filled with clouds, it's pure sulfuric acid mist. That's right, acid rain. Here, weather reports sound like boss fights. You step onto the surface. The air is so thick with carbon dioxide that it feels like breathing in hot glue. Pressure, 90 times Earth. That's like being hugged by the ocean if the ocean were made of lava and bad decisions. Within seconds, your suit, if you even had one, starts to melt. The metal softens. Your helmet warps. The acid eats through faster than your will to live. You collapse, not from drama, but because gravity and pressure are both tired of your nonsense. Then comes the heat. 470 degrees Celsius. That's hotter than Mercury, even though Venus is farther from the sun. How? Because its atmosphere traps heat better than your blanket at 3 a.m. It's a planet-sized greenhouse that never stops cooking. If you somehow survived long enough to fall over, you wouldn't even hit the ground gracefully. You'd dissolve into a puddle of sad chemistry before your body touched the rock. The acid keeps sizzling like a frying pan, and the thick yellow air swirls lazily, almost offended by your presence. Congratulations again.
You've officially been roasted, melted, and marinated in acid. So what's next on our cosmic menu? Yes, Mars, humanity's favorite red disappointment. You've seen all the movies, brave explorers, cool domes, maybe Matt Damon growing potatoes. Reality check, the real Mars is like Antarctica. If Antarctica forgot to have air, you land, step out, and immediately realize the atmosphere is 96% carbon dioxide. You try to breathe, but it's like inhaling a brick. Your blood starts to boil, literally. The pressure here is so low, it can't keep your body fluids liquid. Congratulations, you're now a human cappuccino. Temperature? Around minus 60 degrees Celsius on average, but it feels colder because the air is so thin it can't carry heat. Basically, it's like dying in a freezer that's pretending to be a desert. Your tears evaporate before they can fall. So yes, even crying for help won't work. Then come the dust storms. Mars loves to cosplay as the Sahara, except its sand is made of iron oxide. That's right, rust. So you're literally choking on the planet's blood. The wind isn't fast enough to knock you over, but it'll fill every corner of your suit with regret. Static electricity crackles around you because apparently dying here wasn't dramatic enough. Within a minute, you black out from oxygen loss. In 2, your body freezes solid, perfectly preserved like a discount action figure. If aliens ever find you, they'll probably keep you on display. Alien, early Earth prototype, limited edition. So to recap, Mercury cooked you, Venus crushed you, and Mars just forgot to invite life altogether. Buckle up. Next stop, Jupiter, where gravity takes your corpse and keeps going. The biggest planet in the solar system, and probably the most overhyped. From far away, it looks majestic. Huge, colorful, beautiful storms. Up close, It's a blender the size of a god, and you're the garnish. There's no solid ground here. You don't land on Jupiter. You enter it like soup ingredients. As you fall through its clouds, the first thing you notice is lightning. Bolts hundreds of times stronger than anything on Earth, striking through ammonia clouds. It's like skydiving through a rave hosted by Zeus on caffeine. The upper atmosphere looks calm at first, fluffy, pale yellow. 5 seconds later, you realize those clouds are ammonia gas, and you're dissolving faster than a sugar cube in acid. The wind picks up, 600 kilometers per hour. Your parachute, gone. Your hope, also gone. You keep falling, deeper and deeper, because there's nothing to stop you. The pressure builds 10 times, 100 times, 1,000 times Earth's. Every meter down is like adding a skyscraper on top of your head. Your bones don't break. They just quietly cease to exist. By the time you reach what scientists call the metallic hydrogen layer, you're not even a body anymore. You're a dense smear of plasma, briefly flashing before becoming part of the planet's weather. And that famous red spot? Yeah, that's basically an ancient storm that's been spinning for 300 years. It's the size of Earth, and you'd last about 0.3 seconds inside it. Lightning, ammonia, 900-kilometer winds, basically a cosmic washing machine with anger issues. So to summarize, you didn't land, you didn't die once, you died continuously for a few minutes on the way down, and Jupiter doesn't even notice. It just keeps spinning, casually erasing your existence like a typo in space. Congratulations, you've now achieved death by gas giant. Next stop, Saturn. Same recipe, but with better rings.
Jupiter's prettier little sibling who hides the same murderous personality under a better outfit. You've seen the pictures. Gorgeous golden rings, calm yellow clouds. It looks like a cosmic halo, the kind of place you'd take a selfie and say, vacation vibes. Until you remember that Saturn also has no surface, no air you can breathe, and winds fast enough to yeet your atoms into history. You jump in anyway, because apparently you haven't learned from Jupiter. The first thing you notice? Silence. Then wind, then more wind. The calm golden color hides jet streams screaming at 1,800 kilometers per hour, faster than sound. It's like skydiving through whipped cream that suddenly decides to become a jet engine. You start sinking into the clouds. Temperature drops, pressure rises, and you realize there's no solid ground, just layers of hydrogen and helium turning into metallic soup. Your body compresses until you're smaller than your ego when you thought this trip was a good idea. You wouldn't even explode or melt dramatically, you'd just vanish into the atmosphere like a tragic fart in space. And those famous rings? Beautiful, sure, but they're not soft or magical. They're shards of ice and rock moving faster than bullets. If you somehow floated near them, you'd be instantly shredded into glitter. Congratulations, you're now cosmic confetti orbiting Saturn for eternity. Still, if you could ignore the dying part, Saturn would be breathtaking. Endless clouds, golden storms, a perfect view of the rings from below. But you can't ignore the dying part. Nobody can. So, rest in pieces. You've just been ring certified. Next stop, Uranus. Colder, darker, and yes, we're going to make the joke.
This poor planet has spent its entire life as the punchline of astronomy. And honestly, it deserves sympathy. Because it's cold, tilted 98 degrees. Imagine a planet that got drunk 4 billion years ago and never stood back up. Its poles take turns facing the sun, so half the planet spends decades in darkness while the other half slowly burns. It's like living inside a broken microwave. The turntable doesn't work, but it still hums. You parachute in through an atmosphere made mostly of hydrogen, helium, and methane, the stuff that makes it smell like rotten eggs and science experiments gone wrong. The moment you inhale, your lungs quit out of pure offense. The temperature? About minus 220 degrees Celsius. That's colder than Neptune's winds and your ex's heart combined. The sky glows pale cyan, soft and calm, which feels peaceful, right until your face freezes solid. The pressure here doesn't crush you instantly. It's polite about it. You get about 30 seconds to shiver and question your life choices before your blood crystallizes. Then, slowly, the air thickens around you, the clouds turn into an icy soup of methane and ammonia, and you begin your final descent, falling sideways because the planet can't be bothered to rotate normally. By the time you reach the deeper layers, you stopped being you and started being future Iranian weather data. A gentle ending for a planet that never stood upright or got the respect it deserved. So, yeah, Uranus killed you quietly. Next stop, Neptune. Louder, faster, and 10 times meaner.
The planet that wakes up every morning and chooses violence. It's the farthest major planet from the sun, which means it's cold, dark, and way too energetic for its own good. You'd think being so far out here, it would just sit quietly and freeze like a normal gas giant. But no, Neptune has the fastest winds in the entire solar system. We're talking 2,000 kilometers per hour. That's faster than bullets, faster than logic, faster than your will to live. You dive in through deep blue clouds that look calm and pretty, like a swimming pool commercial. Then the wind hits, sideways, upward, everywhere. You're basically inside a cosmic washing machine set to obliterate. Your parachute tears in half before you can scream, and your body spins like a badly folded paper airplane. The temperature sits at around minus 220 degrees Celsius. The air is made of hydrogen, helium, and methane, which instantly flash freeze you solid. Your face turns to ice before your brain finishes thinking, "Oh cool, I'm dying again." The wind speed is so extreme, it could launch rocks faster than sound. So even if you were frozen, you'd soon be sandblasted into frozen powder. You fall deeper. Blue fades to black. Pressure climbs high enough to crush submarines, then bones, then atoms. You start glowing faintly from compression heat. Congratulations, you're now the hottest thing on Neptune. Not that anyone's around to notice. Eventually, you're gone. Shredded, frozen, vaporized, and compressed into something between fog and glitter. All that's left of you dances around Neptune's faint rings, which are basically dust and disappointment. So yeah, Neptune didn't just kill you, it killed you fashionably. And that's the last stop before the edge of the solar system. Final destination, Pluto. Quiet, distant, and mercifully peaceful.
Congratulations again! You've survived storms, acid, and pressure that could crush a god. But now the tour ends here. Planet Pluto. Tiny, quiet, forgotten. The universe's loneliest rock. From far away, planet Pluto looks peaceful, like a snowball that drifted too far from the party. Up close, it's a frozen desert of nitrogen ice and silence so thick you could almost hear it. The sunlight here is weak, just a bright star, not enough to cast a real shadow. You can raise your hand and still see darkness between your fingers. You step onto the surface and the ground doesn't even crunch. It's too cold for sound. Minus 230 degrees Celsius, cold enough to freeze the idea of warmth itself. Your breath turns solid, your eyelashes stiffen, your joints stop arguing. No pain, no panic, just the slow realization that nothing here cares whether you exist or not. There's barely any air, barely any gravity. If the stickman tries to jump, the planet just lets them float for a while before pulling them back politely. No crushing storms, no chaos, just stillness. It's almost relaxing if you ignore the whole instant death part. As your body freezes, you become a perfect sculpture. Skin crystallized, eyes glassy, motionless. You won't rot, you won't decay, you'll just be, forever. A tiny statue on the edge of the sun's reach, waiting for nothing. And that's it. The end of the solar death tour. Every planet tried to kill you with fire, gas, or gravity, but planet Pluto just lets you rest. The quietest death in the loudest system. Not bad for a planet that isn't even a planet anymore.